You ever find yourself wondering why perfectly smart people acting completely rationally, often fail to work together? Even when it ends up being worse for everyone involved? It's a really fascinating puzzle. So today, we're going to dive into the logic of cooperation and figure out why it is so much trickier than it looks.
To really get this, we've got to start by challenging a really common idea: what it actually means to win. You know, we often think about life like it's a zero-sum game, like there's a fixed pie. For me to get a bigger slice, you have to get a smaller one. My win is your loss. But the truth is, most of the really important stuff in life is non-zero sum. We're not just slicing up a pie that's already there. We have the chance to work together to bake a much, much bigger one. Or, if we're not careful, we can burn the whole kitchen down. We can all win together, or we can all lose together.
And believe me, this non-zero-sum logic it's everywhere. Think about international trade deals. Countries can both get richer. It's at the core of environmental policy, where if we don't cooperate, everybody suffers. You see it in labor contracts, and yeah, you definitely see it in office politics. Our interests aren't perfectly opposed, but they're not perfectly aligned either. It's complicated.
So, in these messy situations, what does it even mean to make the best choice? Well, it turns out there are kind of two competing ideas about what's the right thing to do. The first one is called Pareto Optimality. Now that sounds fancy, but it's really all about the group. An outcome is Pareto optimal if it is 100% efficient. There is no way to make even one person better off without making somebody else worse off. It's like you've squeezed every last drop of value out of a situation for the group as a whole. No waste.
Okay, so the other idea is the Nash Equilibrium. And this is all about the individual. A situation is a Nash equilibrium if nobody can do better for themselves by changing their strategy alone. It's a stable point because everyone looks around and thinks, nope, given what everyone else is doing, this is the best I can do for me.
And right there, that's the fundamental tension. Pareto Optimality is asking, what's best for us? The Nash Equilibrium asks, what's best for me? And here's the absolute key. The choice that is perfectly logical for you as an individual isn't always what's best for the group. That conflict, that's where so many problems come from. All right, let's put this tension under a microscope with a classic thought experiment that shows this perfectly. You've probably heard of it. So imagine this. You and a partner in crime get arrested. The cops immediately separate you. You can't talk to each other. Then they come into your room and they make you an offer. And you know they're making the exact same offer to your partner next door. So, what's your move? Okay, let's just walk through the logic here. First, let's assume your partner is going to stay silent. What should you do? Well, if you stay silent too, you both get 1 year in jail. Not great, but manageable. But if you betray them, you walk away completely free. So betraying is looking pretty good. Now, let's say your partner betrays you. Well, if you stay silent, you're the sucker. You get 10 years. But if you betray them right back, you both get 5. So again, betraying is your better choice. You see the pattern here? No matter what your partner does, your personal best move is always to betray. And here's the thing, your partner, being just as smart and rational as you are, is sitting in the next room doing the exact same mental math. So what happens when two smart people apply this flawless logic? You end up at the Nash Equilibrium. You both betray each other. It's the only stable outcome. Neither of you could have gotten a better deal by changing your mind alone. And the result? You both get a 5-year sentence.
But wait a second. Let's rewind. What was the absolute best thing that could have happened for the two of you as a team? The Pareto optimal outcome? That was both of you staying silent. You each would have only gotten 1 year. That is so much better for both of you than the 5 years you actually got.
And this just lays the paradox bare. Why do two completely rational people, each making the smartest possible choice for themselves, end up in a situation that is clearly, undeniably worse for both of them? The cold, hard logic of self-interest led them away from the best outcome.
Now, this isn't just some abstract game. This dilemma explains so much about the real world and why we have to actually design systems that help bridge that gap between what's good for me and what's good for everyone.
So how do we escape this trap? Well, societies over time have developed some pretty clever ways to solve this problem, and the solutions usually fall into 3 main categories, all designed to make our individual choices line up with the collective good. So here's how it works. First, enforcement. Think about laws and contracts. What they do is add a huge penalty for betrayal. They change the math, making cooperation the new individually rational choice. Second, you play the long game. This is all about reputation. If you know you're going to have to deal with this person over and over, the long-term benefit of being seen as trustworthy starts to outweigh the short-term gain of one betrayal. And finally, you can just change the game's rewards entirely. The goal is to design a system where doing what's best for you just happens to be what's best for the group too.
So the big takeaway here is that this framework isn't just about finding problems. It's an incredible tool for understanding why systems fail so we can actually design better ones. It helps us see the limits of just letting everyone make their own choices and points us toward building a world with more and better cooperation.
And that leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on. In your own life, in your work, in your relationships, in your community, where might a situation that looks like a competition, an I-win choice, actually be a hidden opportunity for a we-win outcome? What small tweak could turn a prisoner's dilemma into a cooperative success?